All right, so this is how to write linear equations or write the equations of lines given the following conditions. Again, unless otherwise stated, which I don't think it is on this worksheet, I'm just going to write them in slope-intercept form. Okay, so I want my final answers to be in slope-intercept form, which is usually the most helpful and the most common form of a linear equation, which most students are familiar with. So y equals mx plus b. Whoops, I don't know what happened there. Mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to write all the problems like that. So some of these are pretty self-explanatory. So if it gives you the slope and a point, I'm actually going to write this in point-slope form. So I'll start with that and then change it to slope-intercept form. And you know in math, just to be clear, we give things names like slope-intercept form and point-slope form. And I hope you guys understand that it's because we're telling you that information. So why do you think we call it slope-intercept form? Because it tells me the slope and the y-intercept, which is b, right? So when we say we're going to put it in point-slope form, so point-slope form, again, what do you think is going to be in this form? Well, we're going to be using a point, and we're going to also use the slope. So the point-slope formula is y minus y sub 1 equals m x minus x sub 1. Okay, so m, of course, being the slope, and the point that we're going to use are these numbers right here, the y1 and the x1. So, like for example, if we did number 45 there, so the slope is 3, containing the point -2 comma 3. I'm going to plug in that information to point slope. All right. So if I wrote y minus 3 equals m, which we determined was 3, x minus, and then -2. Notice how I put two negatives there because the point slope form has a negative already. I'll highlight it there for us. So see how the negative's already there? Okay. The negative's already there, so that means I have to include it here, and then I put the -2 because the point was -2. But, of course, some of you already discovered that it becomes positive. Let's distribute the 3 here, so it's going to be y minus 3 equals 3x plus 6. Add 3. Y equals 3x plus 9. Okay, so that is how we do point-slope form. We start with that, but notice how my final answer is actually in slope-intercept form, which is what I eventually want you guys to get to. So start with point-slope form, plug it in. It's okay to leave it in point-slope form, but it's really helpful when we see it in slope-intercept form because it makes it a lot easier to graph. Not that it's not that it's difficult to graph in point-slope, but a lot of students are more familiar with slope-intercept form. So that's how you do number 45, and that's kind of a general example here of how you use some information to write a linear equation.